spread throughout a very dark world where I just ask for peace to fall on Declan as he speaks, and there would be no nervousness, no tiredness, no anxiety. They would cast it all aside away from him, and they would just bless this time. I pray all this in the church for the name of Jesus.
You good, Daniel? We're good? All right. So, Daniel doesn't work. Just go to the next slide. There you go. All right. So the verses today are Proverbs 3:27 through 28. Do not withhold good from those to whom it is due, when it is in your power to act. Do not say to your neighbor, "Come back tomorrow and I'll give it to you," when you already have it with you. I pushed away physical contact games when I was young. When I was like a little kid, my friends, there was like, I liked playing football, but the moment it became tackle football, I was out of that. They always wanted to like wrestle and stuff, and I was just like, nah, I'm good. We push away things that we don't like, but we also push away things that we don't like, even if it's good for us. Raise your hand. How many of you procrastinate doing an essay or homework? Before you say it, by the way, before you even say like, oh, I procrastinate because I don't need to do it. That's a lie, because you either A, get a grade for it, and B, you go, I should probably do this. Nah, I can do that later. You know what's good for you. See, we procrastinate tasks even if it's good for us. And I feel like this is what happens with God. Now, don't raise your hand for this one, but how many of you have said to yourself like, oh, I would read my Bible if I had the time? Or, oh, I would pray, but I'm always so busy. The past couple of weeks for me, I've been so busy. Mondays would basically be school, track practice, and then SAT class for 3 hours. And that's also Wednesdays. So literally my day would end at 10 o'clock, like basically every day. Tuesdays would be track meets. Thursdays and Fridays would be just normal track, and then I started work recently. I've had an AP test and the actual SAT and my license test. So I've had a lot of things that have kept me busy, and I've been so drained with those weeks. It's just like, I felt like I needed to rest, and how I would rest would be by like playing video games or actually just sleeping, because it's what I felt like I needed. And in that time, I became mentally drained. Both drained, like tired physically, but I also became emotionally weak. I would pray to God each morning, asking me, hey, can you help me feel not tired, help me not feel depressed? But after my morning devotional, I would just not talk to God again. I would be depressed, and I would criticize God for, why am I not feeling better? Like, why am I not in a better situation? I'm asking for help. Why aren't you helping me? I would ask for help, but then, never talk to him again, and then criticize him for, why am I not getting help? We had a poker night at Lance's house a couple weeks ago, and Lance has a mini gym in his basement where we were playing poker. And as guys do, we started lifting. Now, you might look at me and go, man, this guy's strong. But no. I was the weakest one there. I couldn't bench 115, but I'm not built or capable of benching 165 pounds plus. We had a guy there named Jake, a great kid. He was able to do 165 like that. Like, it was easy for him. I'm not built like Jake. We often ask God to help us. And then we put ourselves in positions that we're not built for. If I try to bench 165, I would need help getting the weight off the rack. We ask God's help, but then we go do something that puts us in a place that we're not supposed to be in, not our purpose. And we'll just keep digging ourselves in a deeper hole that we're not supposed to be in. We put ourselves in places where we carry burdens of others, and we start dealing with problems that we're not meant to deal with, but yet we put ourselves in those positions and asking God for help. When we never even listened to him and started grabbing burdens that we weren't supposed to. This has been very personal for me. I've been carrying burdens of other situations and put myself in situations that were just not for me. I was breaking myself trying to lift the burdens of other people and putting myself in other situations that I wasn't supposed to lift. I'm not built for those situations, either now or later, or I'm not supposed to be dealing with them. I'm not supposed to be dealing with those burdens. I'm not supposed to be dealing with those problems. I'm not built for that right now. See, when we push away God, we start doing things that we aren't built for, or we aren't meant for. Listen to God. Don't push him away, and make sure you commit time to him. Don't push him away because by saying you're too busy, or by saying, oh, I can do this later, you become broken with burdens that you aren't supposed to be carrying. Don't push God away. Instead, jump at opportunities he gives you. God will give us opportunities. He will open lots of doors. But it's your job to walk through the door. At Summer Hume, I was given an opportunity to give my testimony the last night. We were all sitting at a hill, late night, and Steve goes, "Hey, does anyone want to give their testimony?" It's funny because I'm pretty sure what he meant by that was like, "Hey, everybody want to recap their week?" But what I interpreted it as, "Okay, yeah, sure, I'll give my own entire life story. Why not?" I mean, I'm glad I did, because that opportunity is where I'm at right now. And it's found my gift and desire to want to preach and spread the word. If I didn't jump at that opportunity, I'm most likely A, not speaking right now, or B, not as strong as a Christian as I am now. I think I'd be in a worse place, probably very broken. If I didn't jump at the opportunity to go to Lake Champion this year, I would have gotten this moment. I would not have gotten this moment. A bunch of high school boys all crying in a circle because that's how spiritually amazing that night was. God opens lots of doors. We should be jumping at opportunities and eagerly helping each other. Verse 28 says, "Do not say to your neighbor, come back tomorrow and I'll give it to you, when you already have it with you." Don't look at opportunities to bring heaven to earth and push it off for tomorrow. Eagerly jump through the opportunities that God gives you. But you might ask, so how do I see God give me opportunities? It's easy for me to see opportunities because I'm preaching and all that stuff, but if you want to hear from God and see God give opportunities to you, a couple things. One, spend time with God. When you spend time with God, you get to see and hear his plan more often. And don't just pray to God. Don't just be, "Hey God, help me see opportunities," and then never talk to him again. Constantly throughout the day, ask God to show himself and to show his plan for you. Don't just wish for these things to happen and not listen to God. I think that's also another misconception about prayer, is that we'll pray and then we just don't spend time listening to God. Prayer is a conversation with you and God. And it's a relationship between you and God. If you're praying to God or you're talking to your friend and then you never listen to them, is that really a good friendship? It's the same thing with God. When we pray, it should be a two-way conversation. We should try to listen for God. Often for me, that's opening up the Bible, spending time just in silence, just sitting and trying to understand what he's saying. Lance did an exercise a couple of weeks ago where he had Sarah up here and he was just playing music while we all sat in our chairs and just trying to listen to God and trying to hear what he's saying. That doesn't have to be a once a month or a couple months thing, a Sunday school thing. It can be part of your daily life. Putting on worship music and just trying to listen to what God is saying to you. If you heard God during those moments, do it more. When you spend time with God, you are able to hear more and see the opportunities he gives you. Another thing, what is your surrounding like? I'm not talking about your physical surroundings like, oh, where are you right now? But, because I feel like God will work anywhere at any time. But who are you spending your time around and what are you spending your time doing? You are like the 5 most people you spend your time most around. When you are surrounded by other Christians who want to grow and see God, you begin to hear God more easily. It's harder when you're with people who don't have that same goal. I have a school friend group that is not at all easy to talk about God with them because they're either atheist or agnostic. But the point being, if I spend my time mostly with those people who want to ridicule me for being a Christian, I'm not going to see God open doors because all I'm hearing is, oh, how you shouldn't be a Christian, you shouldn't do this. But if I have people that surround me that also want to go and hear God, the tune begins to just go right to God, and you are able to hear Him so much easier. And the second part of that is, what do you spend your time doing? Because if you're spending your time, let's say, watching an hour of politics, you're not going to be in the mindset to hear God. Because I don't know about you guys, but when I listen to politics, it's just loud, ugly, and annoying. See, if you're watching the stuff that's loud and annoying, how do you expect to hear God in those moments? If you're in a concert, it's hard to hear the person next to you because there's the crowd, obviously, there's the performance on stage. It's just loud, and you can't hear what each other is saying. But if you take that same scenario, you're talking to a person, and you go into a quiet room, you can hear them so much easier because there's no distractions, you can focus really on what's happening, and you have an easier time hearing them. And it's the same thing with God. It is so much easier to listen to God when you don't have earfuls of angry social media posts or people yelling at you of why you shouldn't be a Christian, why you should, what's right, what's wrong. What if we spend our time and who we hang around more carefully? Because if we have the right people around us and no distractions, we can hear God so much easier. And the third thing, seek God. Jeremiah 29:13 says, if you look for me wholeheartedly, you will find me. You will find God if you go seek Him with your entire heart. Wholeheartedly, if you seek Him with everything you have, everything, you will find it. If you put your passion into something that you love so much, and put it as hard as you can and as much, you're going to achieve the goal that you want to achieve because you put so much effort into it. If you want to hear from God, go and seek Him. Go and put everything you have into it. If you want to find opportunities God is opening, if you want to seek Him, you will 100% find amazing things that happen. You will find opportunities He gives you, and it'll be amazing. I'm going to pray for you guys in a second. So as you guys leave here today, I want you to know a couple things. Don't push away God. Jump at opportunities He gives you by spending quality time with Him, surrounding yourself with things that will benefit hearing from God, and seeking His kingdom. Let's pray. Dear God, I thank You for this day. I thank You for everyone here today that they will want to seek You and they want to hear opportunities that they give You. And that when You open the door, that they will eagerly jump through it and you eagerly run through it. That they will want to see Your plan for them. Because everyone here is so special, God. You have them here for a purpose, and You have them here because You love all of us. I thank You that You sacrificed Yourself for us, and that, God, You sent Your one true Son down for us. And I pray this in the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.